Uh, Good afternoon. As a part of the assignment for CCN 103 Debates in Digital Media, I'll be making a short presentation on the podcast pitch being proposed. Uh, Although there are so many topics being discussed and debated on digital media, uh, I personally chose this misinformation and disinformation as interests of my uh, pitch here. So as you can see from the title slide, the episode title that I'm proposing is, can we overcome misinformation or should we build immunity against it? So in order to talk on these two aspects of misinformation and disinformation, one being the part of getting the immunity against the misinformation, or shall we shall we work towards overcoming it? So in this episode, I chose two leading researchers whose studies are basically on misinformation. So first I have Elena Musi, who is an associate professor in artificial intelligence and communication at Department of Communication and Media, University of Liverpool. Musi was also worked as language engineer in the Amazon Alexa machine learning team for Italia Alexa. She has a doctoral degree completed from Center of Computational Learning System at Columbia University and at the Laboratory for the Study of Applied Language Technology and Society at Rutgers University. Musi is an expert in interface between computational linguistics and semantics. She has done numerous publications, particularly on theoretical and applied argumentation, misinformation, and human-computer interaction technologies, among others. The second researcher to feature in this podcast is Sacha Alte. Sacha Alte is a postdoctoral research fellow who mainly concentrates his works on misinformation and mistrust. He did his PhD in experimental psychology at École Normale Supérieure in Paris. He tries to understand why some false beliefs get widespread despite cognitive abilities to resist misinformation. He has developed and put to test new techniques of communication in his efforts towards correcting misperception and combating misinformation. He is a devoted communicator in science, and he delivers talks to the public. His works are mostly informed by theories in social psychology, media studies, and evolutionary psychology. So, as stated before, in order to build a case against misinformation, whether we need to build misinformation immunity or not, I've chosen this paper recently published by Elena Musi and her colleagues. The paper is titled as Developing Misinformation Immunity, How to Reason Check Fallacious News in a Human-Computer Interaction Environment. So in this paper, they discuss various problems associated with the spread of misinformation, and they also propose the idea of citizens and communication gatekeepers getting inoculated using fallacy theory and human computer interaction interventions. And they also propose use of open access chatbots such as fake news immunity chatbots and vaccinating news chatbots. So in order to counter misinformation or to build immunity, they say media literacy is vital with critical thinking. However, despite the misinformation being prevalent, the authors accept that there are challenges, and I quote, "The gray area of misinformation is hard to debunk both by human and automatic fact checkers due to the variety of distortions in place which proliferate across digital media, and that cannot be reduced to a binary problem of true versus false information. Debunking efforts have been proved to be effective but have so far mostly targeted disinformation." I unquote. So these authors have also proposed debunking and debunking as the interventions to counter fake news. While on the previous slide we saw that the authors proposing the need for building immunity against misinformation, this paper is slightly different, and they have a very interesting topic, which is misinformation or misinformation. So Sacha and his colleagues, they discuss on this topic the 6 misconceptions about misinformation, and they discuss that in detail, and they put a very uh, bold statement that misinformation is not just a social media problem. So the authors have even said that the misinformation existed even way before the era of social media. So Alte and colleagues argue that people usually get addicted to misinformation that they have already predetermined acceptance, which means they have already made their mind to accept the fact of the misinformation. So this paper has some very interesting points to put forward, and against this, they say that the researchers, the data being collected by researchers are not interpreted well, or it's being overblown off. And in support of this, he claimed that the individuals should make a decision. And in the similar line, Hugo Marcier states that, I quote, "We are skilled at figuring out who to trust and what to believe, and if anything, we are too hard rather than too easy to influence." I unquote. So in this line, my podcast in this podcast episode, I am proposing that the although misinformation may remain, but then it's up to the individuals to do a bit of a research and consume information with caution. Thank you.